So I wanted to film a vlog today, a vlog that was going to talk about my hair journey to date, going from relaxed to natural back to what I would probably say is pretty much relaxed again now, and sort of how that came to be. The inspiration to film this video was myself. We're in lockdown 3 here in London, and in the first lockdown back in March 2020, I had to go a period of time without getting my roots straightened. And then when I went back and got them straightened, there was a lot of shedding. And when I sort of look back at what I did and didn't do, definitely what I didn't do was I didn't really do much protective styling. I wasn't really looking after my roots. And as you can tell, it even as I'm talking to you now, this is what I'm like. So when I've got roots going through, I love touching my natural roots. Sounds so strange, but I do. And so this is what I'll be doing. If I didn't put my hair in protective styling, my hands are going to constantly be in my hair, pulling at the roots like this. And it's just, I don't think it's not healthy for your hair. I remember my the first hairdressers that I used to go to, I'm going to shout out all my hairdressers actually. So my main hairdresser is one called Hype. I think it's called Hype DF in Battersea. I will put the link to their website. But I used to see a guy called Five. He used to do my hair there, and he told me about this point of demarcation. I hope I'm saying that right. Which is the part between. It's the point at which your natural hair meets your chemically processed hair, and apparently that part is very, very weak, that bond, because of the two different textures, and so you have to really treat it with care. So as you can imagine, even as I'm talking to you, I'm very, very conscious of what I'm doing, but I find it's just habitual. I've always done it. So even as I'm talking to you, where I'm pulling on my hair, I'm literally going to be pulling on that very weak bond. So it's just not a good idea, excuse me. So I thought that this time around I have to do more protective styling. So as I'm talking to you guys, I'm going to just do what I'm doing. At the moment, I've washed and blow dried my hair. I was in 2 minds if I'm going to show you this, but this is, I'm not going to go into it. I'll just put all the links in the thing, but this is my shampoo and conditioner that I use. It's ORX. And so I use that, and then usually I would deep condition with this, but today I didn't because I didn't have lots of time. So I just shampooed and conditioned. And actually what I haven't bought, I do then just use the Aussie, I think it's called Aussie Hair 3-minute Miracle Moisturiser conditioner. I use that right at the end as well. All of these things, so that Aussie hair care one I've been using since I was like a teenager, literally. And then this shampoo conditioner I've been using probably for about the last 2 years. This deep conditioner I've been using for over 10 years. And then when I blow dry my hair, I actually don't, so at the moment my hair's dry, it hasn't got any oil in it yet. When I blow dry my hair, I use this stuff. Again, if you find something that works for you, just stick with it. So don't go chop it. If you've got something that's working for you right now, don't let me derail you. You just use what you're using. I'm just sharing in case anyone's interested. So before I blow dry my hair, I use this. It's by Fantasia, Icy Fantasia, and it's heat protector and straightening serum. I believe it protects my hair from the heat, because I do blow dry my hair on the highest heat setting. You're not supposed to do that. I do, and I always have done. And so I believe that this is helping protect my hair, because it's not doing badly, is it? Can we just rate my own hair? If you've got to rate your own hair, you've got to rate your own hair. But one thing I will say that it does for sure is it definitely makes my hair straighter than if I didn't use it, which I don't know when I wouldn't use it, but it definitely, because there's been times I've tried like frizzies. I think this definitely gets my hair straighter, so it's less effort for me to actually get the hair straight. I don't use any, I don't use flat irons ever. I haven't used flat irons since I was a teenager. 39 now, but I haven't used flat irons since I was a teenager. And as I'm blow drying, so I section my hair and I blow dry it. Maybe I'll film that one day. If anyone's interested, let me know. But as when I've blow dried one bit, then I put this on my scalp. I oil my scalp whilst I'm blow drying. Otherwise, I just won't oil my scalp. So I have to do things, whilst I'm doing my hair, I do my hair. So as I'm blow drying, once that section's dry, I oil my scalp. Then I and I just keep going. So this is by Cantu. It's tea tree and I think you say jojoba, or it's spelled jojoba, but I'm quite sure it's jojoba hair and scalp oil. I only put it on my scalp. I bought that because there was a time when I was getting just some crazy, like, oh, it was horrible. Like, even makes me feel a bit nauseous thinking about it. Just some crazy dry flaky patches of scalp, but it wasn't just like your normal like dry scalp. It seemed like there was something a bit more, I want to say sinister, it's a bit dramatic, but do you know what I mean? I feel like there's something more going on there, and I think it might have been a little bit fungal. So I thought, get something with tea tree in it. And I'm always kind of like dubious as to like how much tea tree is actually going to be in this, but it did the trick. When I say literally, I used it once and that thing has gone and never came back, and I have no idea why it happened. But that hair scalp oil, hair and scalp oil seemed to solve it. And then what I'm going to do now is I put in my actual moisturizer. So the moisturizer I use in my hair is by ORS. This is the big bottle. You'll see smaller bottles of this in Superdrug and Boots. But again, I've been using this for, I mean, a long time, a long time. So when I first started relaxing my hair, probably not the first time, but in the very early years of me relaxing my hair, I used to use this Relaxer brand, and it used to come with a sachet of this and a sachet of that afterwards as well. So I don't put any oil in my hair when I'm blow drying it. I literally just use this, and I tell you why. Because if you think about how oil heats, and I use high heat on my hairdryer. So you know when you go to like certain hairdressers and they're like blow drying hair, and you can literally see the smoke. I don't know if it's smoke, but I think it's smoke like come off the hair. It just doesn't. It's not a good look. So I remember it was my my mum's cousin. I guess he was my cousin. Who was a hairdresser who said that, and I just stopped using oil in my hair for blow drying ever since. And so I put it in afterwards. So quite a hefty amount. Like I said, my hair is dry. It's got nothing in it, and I'm doing protective styling. Probably if I wasn't going to protective style, I wouldn't put as much. In fact, I'm looking at it now and I'm like, really, Keisha? That's a bit much. So I kind of just put it through my hair like this. I've put too much, so I thought I was going to use 2 hands there. So I will say that I am not your, like, I'm no hair expert, but I've had long hair for a long time, and that's such a weird thing to say, but that's true. I've always had long hair, but a lot of that is probably down to genetics. I filmed this video, actually, I'll tell you something. I did film this video earlier in the week, and when I watched it back, I thought, oh, it looks like I'm really rough with my hair. I'm not. I promise you I'm not. It might look like I'm being rough with my hair. I'm really not. So I will just say, be gentle with your hair, and even if it looks like I'm pulling on my hair, I'm definitely not. I've got very, very, very sensitive scalp. Anyway, so I want to tell you about my hair journey. That's why I was doing this. So I'm going to put 4 cane rows into my hair. Or maybe I'm going to do 2 cane rows, actually. In the previous video that I recorded, I did 4 cane rows, and it took quite a while. So maybe today I'm just going to try and do 2, because then it'll be a shorter story. The 4 cane rows was good though. So I'm going to put a picture up of how it looked when I took the 4 cane rows out. My hair was so moisturised, and when I shampooed my hair today, it just felt really soft, which was really nice as well. Anyway, so I'm going to put this piece away. I've put my olive oil moisturising lotion in, and then they call it sealing. Anyway, I just follow up with this again, it's Aussie, and people must be thinking like, where's she going with all these white people products? It just works for my hair. So it's Aussie 3 Miracle Oil. It's lightweight, but it still definitely oils my hair, and I love it. Sometimes I just think that certain products that I get that is specifically for black hair, I put it in my hair, and it's just, my hair just feels drenched in oil, and I don't like that feeling. Also, I don't really think it's necessary. Also, you'll notice I've got fairly oily skin, so I don't really need the additional oil. I normally wear my hair out. I normally have my hair out if I didn't have like about 1 billion months worth of regrowth. Age 11, got my hair relaxed, and all throughout secondary school, I just had the one same hairstyle. You see the same thing, hair half up, half down. These clips have these clips in the side of it, and that was it. That was my hairstyle all throughout secondary school. And then left secondary school, continued to look after my own hair. Back then, even then, I was using quote unquote white people's hair products. I was using L'Oreal Elvive, the yellow one, which is different to the yellow one that is now. Back then, listen, that stuff was just so good for my hair. I put a picture up of how my hair used to look then. My hair was wonderful. I used to love it. I used to get well conditioned. It was straight. It was everything. I really liked it. My thing was I didn't really care about the length of my hair growing up, because sometimes I would just chop it all off and sometimes I'd let it grow long. It didn't really fuss me because I knew that my hair would grow. So no matter what I did, I knew my hair would be growing. So that was sort of left secondary school, carried on my relaxed hair for ages and ages and ages. And then when I was 34, 33, 34, say, I was working with a woman called Yimika. Shout out to Yimika. I was working with a woman called Yimika, and Yimika's hair was natural and she was growing her dreadlocks. And I remember me and my little sister, we always used to say that when we got to 30, I have no idea why we came out with this, but I always said that when we got to 30, that we would locks up our hair. And at this point, I'm like over 30, and I saw Yimika's locks, and I just thought, what greater time to maybe not locks up my hair, but I'm going to at least go natural. So I remember I turned to her and I'm going to put the picture up of the day, literally the day that I made the decision. I said to her, Yimika, I'm gonna stop relaxing my hair. And she was like, what, are you all right? And I was like, yeah. She's like, your hair, because my hair at that point was long, straight, and it was in good condition, and I always got compliments about my hair. And so for me to like be like, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm going to have it natural, she was just like, your good hair, like, she's not your good hair, she was just like, are you sure, like, kind of like, you like, why would you want to keep the hair the way it is, it looks great, type thing. And I was like, no, I want to have it, I'm having natural, I'm done with this relaxer life. So I went natural. But me being me, never doing things by halves, I didn't just go natural. I set up a Facebook group. I had my mum in there, had like friends, family, all in there, with not just Keisha's going natural, we're all going natural together. People had already made it. There was a bit of a movement at that point as well. So I think that's probably why the traction picked up. But I had like some 100 or 200, I can't remember now, it's so long ago. It was in 2014. And so yeah, there's people in this group going natural, and there's me giving all the advice, like, yeah, I don't think I was really giving advice, but I think I was kind of like giving hair updates anyway, and sort of being like, here's my growth and and sharing articles and things like that, and sharing other YouTube videos. Anyway, so that's 2014, and I went through the whole transition. Oh no, I've done it already. I went through the whole transition. See the oil on this side. I went through the whole transition situation. So grew the hair out, started putting it into twists, like kinky twists, and then I don't know if I've oiled this side twice now, but second oiling won't harm anyone. I probably did do both sides. Did the big chops. I did my big chop in, so when 2014 went natural, did my big chop in 2015 at the beginning, and then from there I was putting my hair in like crochet braids and stuff like that, and I just had it all put away for ages until it was long enough for me to at least put it into a ponytail. So then I had my natural hair from 2015 until I think end of 2000, so completely natural, so after the big chop, from 2015 till about 2018, the summer of 2018. So I've got a picture of me with my natural hair in 2018, so I definitely still had natural hair then, because I have a picture of it. And so, oh, this side's gonna be tricky now. And so the decision, the decision to go back to, well, to move away from natural hair, let's say, was just simply because I just didn't have the patience. Oh, look, this is hard, guys. I just didn't have the patience to, I feel uncomfortable, like I feel really awkward talking and get all fidgety. I didn't have the patience to look after my natural hair. And also, it's just, I had to learn all over again. Like, after all these years of knowing what to do with my hair, I had to learn all over again how to look after my hair again. And it just felt so, the hair, when I say it felt so, I mean literally to feel it in my hands, just felt so different. My hair texture was like a for C, I would say, but very defined curls. At the front, no, sorry, it's 4B. How does it go? So I don't remember the stuff now. But at the front, I'll show you the pictures and you could tell me. But the front, there was no curls formed. At the back, there was nice little ringlet curls. It was so cute. But just a nightmare to manage. I really couldn't do it. Like, I didn't have time. At that point, I was studying a business and marketing degree, like part-time, and I was working full-time. I was living, independently. I was actually living with my ex-boyfriend then. And so, you want to spend time with your partner, I have to study, I've got to work, there's housework to do as well, all that stuff. So I'm saying all that to say, like, wash day, this concept of having a wash day where I'm going to spend a whole day to wash my hair. Sorry, my voice got dry. It got dry. Spending a whole day to wash my hair wasn't appealing, nor was it feasible. It wasn't something I wanted to do, nor was it, I genuinely didn't feel like I had the time to do it, probably because I didn't want to do it as well. That, and the other point was, like, it just took so much maintenance. My hair was very curly, and so if I didn't detangle it often enough, I had to do lots of co-washing just to keep the curls from just knotting up on themselves and getting quite locked up. And when I say it makes it sound like my hair was all dry, it wasn't. It was just that curly. It would just, sometimes I wouldn't even know, but I'll try and run my hand through and there'd be like a whole knot going on. If I didn't do that often enough, I could be just growing dreadlocks back there. It's just like exaggeration. But so, and it was really painful for my scalp. Like, I sound like such a wuss right now, but my scalp just hurt. I couldn't, with all the manipulation I had to do with my hair, just to simply wash and have it dry. Didn't used to blow dry it. Most part used to let it just dry naturally. My scalp was just like, oh, this is so painful. And I've always been that way. Even when I was like a kid getting my hair cane red, I was that child that was always like, oh, this is hurting, this is so tight. Like, I can't hack that tension, that feeling of tension on the scalp, right? Anyway, so I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So the original idea was just that the curls were too hard to manage, but at the same time, I loved having this texture in my hair. So I thought, I know, I'll texturize my hair. So 2018, made the decision to texturize my hair just to take out some of the, well, texture, hence the name. And then it was okay, but what was happening the first time around I got it done was, it was even worse. No, it wasn't worse. It was easier to manage because that meant it was easy for me to, like, manage my hair. But the other part was that where I still had the curls, now when they tangled on each other, the hair was also chemically processed, which meant it was slightly weaker. So whereas with my natural hair, it'd be easy to sort of tease out the knots. With with the texturized hair, it was like really hard to get the knots out without having to really break your hair. Like, you could do it, but it was just like, sometimes it was just like this, I'm just gonna have to rip it out. Sounds so brutal, but it wasn't too far off ripping out. Like, you try and tease out as much as you can and you just stuck where you just got this one knot. I'm just like, right? So just really, really rough. So I went back a second time. So this was a different hairdressers now. This was Errol Douglas in Knightsbridge. I know it's fairly expensive, but to just get the texturizer done wasn't so expensive. So between the hairdressers in Battersea and this hairdressers in Knightsbridge, just to get the texturizer done in Knightsbridge cost the same as it would for me to get a texturizer and a wash. And a blow. I have to wash it and a blow dry in Battersea. So what was expensive in Knightsbridge is that if I wanted them to blow dry my hair, I'm going to come back to that in a second. So I went back to the hairdressers. I was just like, I like the texture, but it's really knotting up on itself. And I was doing all the conditioning and looking after it and stuff like that. And so I was like, can I make it a little bit looser? And she did. And then I was happy with it for ages. And that's how I had it. So can you imagine what my poor hair had to go through? Like 2 texturizers, 2 run-throughs. So I went through once. I think I had it for like 3 months or something. And then the next time I had it done again, I was like, run it through again. And then it took out more of the curl. And it was just this really nice texture. It meant that when I washed my hair, it still had some curl to it, which meant that when I blow dried it straight, it just still had texture. Years I was happy with my hair, and then lockdown hit in March of last year, and I had to go ages without going to the hairdressers because they shut, and I didn't get myself in there early enough, so they shut, and I just had to like I say, I didn't do enough to protect my hair in that time. And then and then when I finally got into the hairdressers, so we went to lockdown March, got to the hairdressers in July. I went to the one in Knightsbridge because the one in Battersea, where I had been mostly getting my hair done, to be fair, so just to sort of set the tone as to what happened when I went back to Knightsbridge, because I don't know, when the lockdown lifted, I was trying to go back to my Battersea hairdressers, but I couldn't get a hold of them. So I was thinking, oh, maybe they've not opened up again. So I was able to get my hairdressing appointment at Errol Douglas in Knightsbridge. So I was just like, cool, I'll go there and get my hair done there. Book the hair appointment in, and then I get a text message to say that they put their prices up. And I was thinking, all right, well, how much more could they have put the prices up, really? So just to put it into context, I think normally I was paying like 80 or 90 quid. It's expensive. It's not normal prices, but I wanted to make sure my hair was looked after. So I was paying 80, 90 quid to get my hair texturized, and then they put their prices up. Now, here's the mistake I made. When I went back in July last year, I went back and I booked in not just a texturizer, and I said a blow dry after, so it was texturizer and finish, right? So then when I went upstairs to go and pay now, well, first of all,
sorry, because I actually then edited out the payment story. So what happened is I went upstairs to go and pay, and it came up to, I can't remember exactly how much, it was over £200. I was used to paying around 95, and I was like, oh, that the prices have gone up, and they felt sorry for me and they just charged me at the old price, which, to be fair, wasn't that much cheaper than over the 200 quid that it was. But the mistake I made was I booked in the blow dry, and normally I wouldn't, so that's why it was really expensive that time around. I hadn't really realised I had to add that bit back in.
One thing I will say is that anyone watching this, I'm assuming most people who have sat through this, and if you got to the end, like, props to you, but anyone who sat through this has probably got like afro hair themselves, so this message doesn't apply to you, but I think it's important. Well, it does actually. I think everyone needs to think about how a person's hair journey and what they're doing with their hair is personal, and I would extend that to those who are not black and are not of color and have never had afro hair. Like, commenting on a black person's hair, like, of course you'll make compliments, that's absolutely, I'm not saying what's fine and what's not fine, well, I am actually, you know, making compliments is normal. Let's say it's normal to compliment someone's hair. Like, if somebody dyed their hair, I'd be like, I love that color on your hair. That's very normal. One thing I really struggled with was how some of my white friends thought that my afro was quote unquote cool, and it's just like, I'm not trying to be edgy or cool here, it's literally just my hair. And then when I went back to having straight hair, it was kind of like, oh, but we liked your afro, like, why have you not kept it? That was so cool, like, your afro. And I'm just like, because it's not for you to be talking about what I'm doing with my hair. First of all, it's already a lot of, as I've kind of explained to you, you know, previously, like, there's a lot of internal battle that goes on with choosing what I'm doing with my hair. It does feel like it's, maybe I'm putting a lot more emphasis on it that needs to be, which I think is deeper stuff. But it's really difficult when someone who has no sort of knowledge of what it takes to maintain a certain type of hair, and also, like, I'm sure there's a lot of historical stuff there as well in the things that we do with our hair. But basically, you don't get to comment on my hair. Like, you don't get a say in what I do with my hair. Like, nobody does. Like, it's my hair. So went on a bit of a ramble at the end there, and I hope I got my message across clearly. If not, I'll just write up in the notes. But I think this hair conversation is just reminding me of a video that I've been wanting to see for ages, which was talking about internalized racism. And I think a lot of the stuff that I feel about my hair that's definitely going to play a part of it as well. So that's definitely a video that needs to come out. Like, if anyone from my Instagram happens to be watching this, they're like, oh my gosh, she's been talking about the internalized racism video for like ages. It's taken me a while. Because it's a difficult one to get my head around, because it was only a term that I learned in 2020. And it took a lot of time for me to realize that this was something that I was experiencing. And so it's hard, it's not easy, but it's something that needs to be spoken about, and I really do want to talk about it, but I want to do it in a way that feels, well, safe for me as well, because, you know, I'm still having to work my way through it, but also in a way that I feel is helpful for others as well. So bear with me on that one, it is going to come. But yeah, just talking about this hair journey makes me think about that as well. So I've done my moving on, I've done my 2K modes, so I could just ramble forever. And then all I do is whack on a hairband. So now you're thinking, well, what's the point of 2K modes? All the 2K modes are doing, guys, is just keeping my fingers out of my hair. I've got it so that it's, I don't know if you can see, I can't bother to really show you because it's not about how it looks, it's the practicality of it. The hair is away, and it's away from my fingers, so I can't be teasing and messing with my my roots. So I hope that was helpful for someone out there. I don't know how long this has been. I talk a lot, and that's why I said this was vlog style. It wasn't a tutorial per se. I'm not going to edit it too much, but there are going to be some photos. Stay tuned. There's going to be more practical videos on here, so more sort of tutorials. So you can expect some Pilates videos, you can expect some nutritional education, you can expect some tips and educating tips, not the word I want to use. You can expect some education around trauma and how I used, and how a nutritionist and Pilates instructor works with clients who have experienced trauma in life, as I'm trauma informed. So that's a big part of the work that I do. So that's what's going to be coming up on this channel. I'm going to do the odd vlog. If someone enjoys just to hear me ramble on, then you'll watch it. But a lot of my videos will be a lot shorter because I know it is an investment. So I thank you if you have made it this far, and do like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care, guys. Bye bye.